A look at the duties and responsibilities of officers working in warehouse security, next on ProForce. Well, hello, I'm Dave Smith and welcome to ProForce. You know, one of the most common and important types of security in the industry is warehouse security. In this program, we'll provide you important, useful information about warehouse security. For example, we'll cover the typical duties expected of officers in a warehouse environment. Fixed post, foot, and vehicle patrol will be discussed, as well as basic skills that would be helpful for a security officer in a warehouse environment. Our trainer is an expert in warehouse security. He's Bill Besse, Director of Protective Services for Mary Kay Cosmetics.
This assignment may not seem like the world's greatest assignment for a security officer, but in reality it turns into probably one of the more important functions, security functions that at least an in-house program and probably a contract program as well can provide for a company. Most corporations have warehouses, storerooms, storage facilities where they store raw materials or finished product. That's a big investment for a company, and so the protection of these facilities, raw materials, finished products, should be commensurate with the investment the company has made and it has in this facility. They're complicated facilities these days. They're not just docks with the trucks that drive up to them. A lot of them are automated, involve robotic kinds of functions, and so the sophistication level has increased quite a bit in the role a security officer plays in the system that goes into protecting these facilities is a very, very key, important, crucial role. A lot more is expected of a security officer who works in a warehouse assignment nowadays, and because of the sophistication of the building or the processes that go into it, this is very much necessary nowadays. So really, warehouse security can present the security officer with some of his most challenging assignments in today's manufacturing environment, warehouse environment. Good warehouse security program is dependent upon all the people that are involved in it, from the shipping and receiving clerk to the forklift driver, and the security officer plays a very key, vital role in that. If everybody doesn't do their job, follow the procedures and the systems that are in place, then security breaks down. And the security officer really contributes greatly to that, to those systems. These warehouse facilities are really varied in the way they're constructed, where they're located, the materials that are housed in a warehouse, in a storeroom, can be hazardous materials, or they can be rather mundane kinds of materials as well. The warehouse provides a real wide variety of services throughout a company, and so it's very difficult to provide a comprehensive security plan to protect warehousing and shipping and receiving areas. A security officer may find himself in a variety of posts or assignments with varied duties, presenting all kinds of challenges in today's modern warehouse environment. Some of these responsibilities could include, and it really should include, becoming very familiar with the facility. I think this is very important and very critical for the security officer that's assigned to a warehouse shipping and receiving area. He or she really must become intimately familiar with that facility. What's located in that facility? What's stored in that facility? What kind of neighborhood is the facility in? Who works in this facility? The comings and goings of the variety of different shipping trucks and people coming and going in this facility. So one of the basic things, one of the first things that should happen is that the security officer should become extremely familiar with the facility and its contents. systems that are in the facility, the life safety systems that are in the facility. As we go on with our discussion here, we'll find that life safety systems play a very critical role in warehousing and shipping and receiving areas. So if the officer isn't familiar with these systems and what's in this building, then he's working at a distinct disadvantage. So I think that's the number one function, and a very key critical function, is that security officer has to become very familiar with the warehouse environment. I think most companies will tailor their warehousing facilities specifically to the goods that are stored in them. But generally, most warehouses have an area where raw materials are received. They also have an area, a dock or shipping area, where either raw materials or finished product go out the door. So you have an area, shipping and receiving area, where they may be in close proximity to each other, but they have different functions. You have incoming goods and services and outgoing goods and services. And then normally there's a large storage area. It may involve racks that go to the ceiling, perhaps 30, 40 feet in the air. A lot of times these racks are covered with sprinkler systems. In an automated warehouse, which I think you're going to see later, you may have a robotic arm going up into this rack area to retrieve goods, finished product. So, you may have a shipping and receiving yard with a fence around it. You may have an area where visitors, vendors, contractors would enter the area. We like to try to segregate those areas as much as possible. So a lot of shipping and receiving warehouses and facilities do look similar, but I think most companies will tailor them to their needs, specific needs. So to familiarize a security officer with one warehouse might not be adequate if he was assigned to a warehouse in some other part of the company. All of these facilities have special little things about them that the security officer should certainly familiarize themselves with. One of the assignments the security officer may find himself working in is a fixed post, and this would be an area where he may be responsible for access control to a shipping and receiving area, and for egress of the facility as well. This may entail checking delivery trucks, over-the-road trucks, in and out of a gated area. He may be required to maintain a log of this area. He may be required to check a seal on the back of a truck if it contains some type of valuable material. It could be scrap. And this is an area that I think sometimes is overlooked in a warehouse or in a storage area. What one person's scrap is another person's valuable material. Some of the most complex and interesting investigations that I've been involved in have involved what someone thought of as scrap material. What another person thought of was something that was very desirable, that was marketable, a consumable product that could be turned into easy cash. So overlooking the scrap material coming out of a warehouse or being stored in a warehouse is kind of an oversight. Security officers should be aware that something that is traditionally referred to as scrap may be valuable to someone who can divert it and turn it into cash. So fixed posts play important roles in the system, and it's an important area that a security officer needs to concentrate on when they're assigned to that fixed post. Another post that maybe a security officer may be involved in is foot or vehicle patrol. We like to get security officers on foot patrol of our warehousing facilities, and this is an area where the security department, the contract security company, can really contribute, make a value-added contribution to the warehouse facility. There's all kinds of duties and functions a security officer can add to not just the security, but there are housekeeping items. One of the things in a warehouse that really is required in the overall security program is that it be somewhat neat. Warehouses sometimes are not the neatest of places, but today's modern warehouse is a very neat, clean location. Security officers can contribute to that by checking for the general housekeeping. If there are old boxes around, if there are old raw materials spilling out, if there are packaging littered about, then the security officer can document this and get the situation corrected. He may also be out on vehicle patrol of the surrounding area around the warehouse, especially if in the evening hours. More and more warehouses are going to around-the-clock kind of operations, but security officer may be assigned to checking dock doors, making sure they're secure, checking locking mechanisms, and just doing general kinds of patrol activities. And good patrol procedures certainly are in order for warehouses. A lot of warehouses you'll find are in industrial parks. They get kind of isolated at night. And so good patrol procedures are definitely in order for the security officer who's on a vehicle patrol or a foot patrol in these areas, checking suspicious vehicles in an area, checking suspicious people in the area. Good common sense and good patrol security procedures are in order when these kinds of assignments come up. You may be asked to check gates that would be closed down, securing a shipping and storage yard after hours. Dumpsters really make excellent points of diversion, product diversion. And a lot of times in a warehouse, a lot of warehouse thefts and diversion take place because people who know the system are involved in them. Maybe employees of the company, maybe contractors and vendors. One area that's a very interesting place for product diversion or raw material diversion is a dumpster. And a lot of times raw materials or finished goods can be placed in or around a dumpster, and then the perpetrator can come back later and retrieve the finished product or the raw material. So security officers should be aware that making a good perimeter check of these facilities is very, very important. It contributes to the overall security system there tremendously. Another post or area where the security officer can contribute to is inspecting life safety systems. And a company has a huge and very large investment capital in the construction of a warehouse, the racks, the life safety systems that go into it. And so the fire protection system and the sprinkler system plays a very key role in the protection of this facility. More and more companies now are building their manufacturing processes around on-time delivery, and they don't stock their warehouses with just a large amount of material. They stock their warehouses with enough material to provide manufacturing that's just in time. And so if they lose that inventory, if they lose that warehouse due to fire or due to significant theft, then that really puts them at a distinct disadvantage and costs the company a lot of money. Security officers can bring value to their function once again, and that they can provide inspections of these systems. Our security officers here provide weekly inspections of fire systems, fire extinguishing systems, hoses, fire extinguishers, alarm systems, and this plays a very key role in the overall security system of warehousing, storerooms, shipping and receiving areas. A security officer can really bring a lot of value to the organization, ensuring that the life safety systems are all in proper working order. So, as you can see, these warehouses sometimes can be kind of hazardous locations. There are safety implications as well. A security officer can bring more value to the organization by ensuring that aisleways are clear, that there aren't any safety hazards. A lot of these warehouses have huge high racks in them. These can present hazardous situations as well from things that may topple out of the racks onto people. So a security officer can perform all kinds of safety inspections as well and bring more value added service to the organization. The security officer needs to be in fairly good physical condition to work in a warehouse environment. A lot of these warehouses are just huge facilities. we have a 350,000 square foot facility, you know, and you're going to have to be on your feet a lot moving in that facility. So someone who's in fairly good physical condition, good eyesight or correctable eyesight, powers of observation are very important. Good attention to detail is very important. A lot of the thefts, a lot of the diversion that take place in warehousing, shipping and receiving areas are fairly sophisticated kinds of things, and they're pretty subtle on occasion. So an officer can note, make note of where things are, where things have been delivered to. That could be very important. Certainly we're looking for somebody who can write a good report. The six senses are very important in a warehouse facility. A person, you know, should use all of those senses when they're on duty in a warehouse. Sense of sight is very important. The sense of smell can be very important. Working in an area where there are hazardous materials stored, simply walking through an area and detecting them by smell could be very important. So those kinds of things can play a role in a successful security program. Firefighting skills could be very important, so we certainly would want someone who could at least support or carry firefighting equipment, hoses, fire extinguishers, those kinds of things. More and more so in this era, these warehouses are high-tech kinds of warehouses. So more and more we're looking for people that have computer skills, who can manage access control systems, who can monitor closed-circuit television systems, respond to alarms. I think in today's business environment, we're finding more and more warehousing, shipping and receiving areas are 24-hour-a-day operations. They're certainly automated, but they're also people-intensive kinds of places. A variety of different kinds of people work in and around warehousing facilities. Vendors, contractors, constant flow of people coming and going, truck drivers, a real variety, a real diverse kind of environment. So I think it would really benefit the security officer to have the ability to get along with a lot of different kinds and types of people, because it's going to be very important for that security officer to interact with a variety of different kinds of people. Everyone from someone who may be responsible for maintenance in the facility to a high-tech kind of person who's maintaining computer systems and involved in software that operates an automated warehouse facility. So the security officer, if he's going to be successful, has to be able to interact with those kinds of diverse employee groups, contractor groups, vendor groups. Very important. It's still a very people-intensive kind of environment in a warehouse. Very important that a security officer has good people skills so that he could be successful in interacting with the different kinds of people that he comes in contact with in a warehouse shipping and receiving area. The modern high-tech warehouse represents a significant corporate investment, and well-trained, familiar security officers can make a huge contribution to ensuring that that asset, that investment, is well protected, that the raw materials that goes into the company's manufacturing process is protected, that the finished goods that are so important to the corporation's continued profitability are protected, and that, most importantly, the people that work in that hazardous environment on occasion are protected as well. The security officer, well-trained security officer, plays a very, very key role in that. And you know, we can talk about all these automated warehouses all we want, but you know, they do not protect themselves. And the security officer's role is a key one in ensuring that that huge corporate asset that it's so dependent upon, and so many people's jobs are dependent upon, is very well protected. And the only way to do that is with well-trained, informed, diverse security officers. They just play a very key role in that asset protection program in that warehouse facility.
All right, briefly, let's review just a few of the important points we've covered. 1. As warehouses have become more sophisticated, so has the role of the officer. 2. Being familiar with your facility is vitally important. 3. You may be assigned a fixed post, a foot patrol, or a vehicle patrol. 4, your duties may vary tremendously, everything from access control to protecting the facility from theft to inspections of life safety systems. And 5, skills helpful in warehouse security also vary a great deal from computer skills to working with a variety of people. Well, that concludes our look at warehouse security. Now, we hope you found our program informative, and as always, please send us your comments and opinions. Thanks for your interest. For ProForce, I'm Dave Smith.